Let your righteousness live in me. Let your righteousness live in me. From today, oh, let it live in me. From today, oh, let it live in me. Wow, wow, wow. Another attribute of mother. There's always an observation or a feeling that the child of a mother may have that's along the lines of, you feel like that woman who gave birth to you appears to be contending with you or competing with you. You can't really place a finger on it, but you just sense it, and it's hard for you to articulate it for some of the reasons I gave earlier on. The typical West African society, you don't talk about things like this. If you're going to open your mouth about your mother, it has to be good things. You don't speak ill about your mother, and so on and so forth. The typical mother, in fact, for those who are blessed with grown-up daughters, the rare time that they speak with their daughters at times is contentious. Now, hear me out. There are some phenomenal mothers. I mean, what we could, perfect mothers. And I know somebody will say, Pastor, no one is perfect. I hear you. But let's keep this in mind. Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Jesus said, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Now let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. You see, I'm not perfect. I'm human, duh. I'm bound to make some mistakes. Should not be the easy lingua or go-to answer for a disciple of Christ. God wants you and I to attain perfection, all right? So this is not a message of condemnation. There are times whereby you can't place your finger on it, but it appears that your mother is contentious with you. When your mother calls you, you're now a grown-up woman. You're a mother. Before you know it, it becomes a contentious conversation. The mother doesn't even want to hear it. If you don't accept her ways, she's quick to hang up the phone. She goes away or goes off in anger. Some don't. Some know how to play it cool. They'll just be quiet. And you think their silence means they're being gentle and amicable about the issue? Nah, lie. That silence is another form of anger. May the Lord help us. So you realize that, and then here's another attribute, and then we're coming back to this. Another attribute of the typical mother. When they speak to their children who are now grown adults, or who are now parents as well, there's not much to talk about. Their conversations are filled more with silence until someone else says, okay, Mom, okay, I've got to go and do this. Or in some cases, those grown-up children will intentionally ignore the call because they wonder, well, when I pick up the call and speak with her, there's nothing to talk about. The foundation is not there. And as much as that mother has spent her lifetime trying to build a superstructure of impressing others, the substructure, the foundation is out of whack. The substructure is not there. Success cannot be built on a faulty foundation. And Psalm 11 verse 3 says, well, if the foundation is out of whack, If the foundation is not right, if the foundation is misaligned or destroyed, even the righteous are not exempted from the consequences. So one of the typical attributes of having a mother is that they don't have interesting and wholesome phone conversations. That once in a blue moon that mother may attempt to call. Let's go back to the previous attribute. I know of a particular story whereby a young man was a pastor, and both mother and father were pastors, and the father passed away in the church that the father had started and had been pastoring. There had been a couple of prophetic revelations, and many people did not know at that time that God was about to take this young man's father. But there were prophetic revelations that were confirming that this young man has a mantle to take up. And then after the father had passed on to be with the Lord, there were even more prophetic revelations that that father's son was to take over pastoring the church. Oh, don't forget, every illustration I'm sharing with you is a real life story. My goodness, you would not believe this. The mother started contending with the son that, no, I am going to pastor the church, not you, the son. I was there when the church started. I was the one who labored with your father. You will get your turn, but not now. I am going to pastor the church. Folks, the typical mother does not mind being contentious with her child or competing with her child. It was so bad. That mother continued until she made it a public spectacle. It was that bad. It was bad. You see, the opposite of the typical mother, the opposite, a mother, a woman who truly is a nurturer, who truly is a mother, truly. In such a situation, the example or illustration I gave you will give the backing and support that that child needs, because that mother sees that, well, if it's my son who God has given the role to continue on the work of the father, well, that's the same as me doing it. So I'm going to give my son all the backing he needs. No, not with the mother. No. In fact, the women of the church organized an impromptu visit to go and visit this mother at home and ask, we noticed the antagonism you have against your son. What did your son do? Why are you against your son? If we had a child like that as a son, ooh, we will give him our full support. We will give him our backing. We love him. Maybe there's something you're not telling us. The typical mother is not praying for their children to attain greater works than she has, or to surpass her. In fact, the typical mother does not mind praying that they outlive their children or out-succeed their children. Look, don't forget, we're talking about 0.2%. So it's not a common trend. You may not know about it, but it hurts and grieves those who are experiencing it. because it is real. It's not spoken about that much. It may be considered a taboo to speak anything other than praises and accolades and compliments for your mother. But for those who have a woman from that 0.2%, it's terrible, it's painful, and that pain grows with them unless the Lord delivers them. It affects so many aspects of their lives. We're still continuing the series, Mother, Mother. Let your righteousness live in me. Let your righteousness